everybody, I'm Miranda from the Breeders Cupboard. Today I want to talk to you about the Belly Labs pregnancy test. The Belly Labs pregnancy test is a relaxin test, and it's the only of its kind that does not require a blood draw, which is very exciting. When you get your test, you get, let's go through this box. You get your lancets. So this is a prick under the gum, your little swab, and your test and your buffer. That should all be in your box. You can use these tests starting at 28 days post-ovulation. However, I personally would rather wait till about 32 days just for that buffer. If you really want to check early, I've had a faint line as early as 26 days post-ovulation. But if you get a negative result, even at 28 days, you should retest about 7 days later. The other thing to keep in mind is breeding dates and ovulation dates are not always the same thing. And if you're going off of breeding dates, I would definitely aim for more of like 35 days post-breeding. So let's grab Millie and do the test. Okay, so you have your little lancet and you just push this button down to get it ready. And I find there's a couple tricks to this. One is you want the lip nice and taut. Two, you want to apply some pressure. You're pushing on it. Push the button down and she should bleed nice and good. Good girl, Millie. So this is Millie the Basset Hound. And spoiler alert, as you can probably tell, we do know that Millie is expecting a litter of puppies. She's about 38 days post-ovulation today, so okay, so this isn't bleeding great, and that does happen. You have two choices here. We can just keep squeezing, and she seems okay with that. Sometimes putting the lip down and giving it a little rub, bringing it back up will help, or we can poke her again, which I would rather not do. So I'm just going to have some patience here. And you do need, good girl, Millie. You do need the swab completely saturated in blood. Good girl, Millie. So patient. We got cookies for you. Okay, so we are pretty much there. We're going to do, sorry, sweetheart, we're going to do one more little cover just to be sure. But you do want as much as you can. So there we go. I feel good about that. Good girl, Millie. Thank you. We have our swab from sweet little Millie. And like I said, as much blood as possible. I think, I was just saying to Denise here, I think if we didn't already know that Millie was in fact in whelp, I would have gotten a little bit more blood with either another prick or a little more patience. But this will be sufficient. We're going to put this in the buffer here and give it a couple good, maybe 5 or 10 good turns. And then there's a spot on here that's meant to just break it off. Put the lid on nice. And then there is a little circle on this box, oh, right here, to leave it there. And we're going to wait a minute. Okay, so it's been a minute. We're going to turn this over so we don't, and we have our test cartridge. And we're going to put 2 drops right in the little well here. And actually, I can tell, just looking at the sample, I've done a few of these tests, that that was light on the blood. And I do believe that that does affect the accuracy of the test. So that's something to keep in mind, just so you're watching along. And we're going to set the timer. It's 10 to 15 minutes. So I usually set a timer for 10 minutes and then again at 15. And we try to withhold our excitement. It's been 10 minutes and I can see a fairly faint line. Again, we did run one of these tests a few days ago on Millie. So she would have been earlier on in her pregnancy, but we got the swab quite coated in blood and the line was quite a bit darker. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's just see what happens in the next 5 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is definitely 2 lines. And as I said, we do know that Millie is expecting a litter of puppies based on a relaxin test and an ultrasound. So let's just recap the Belly Labs pregnancy test. We're going to use it between 28 days and about 35 days post-ovulation, or about 30 to 35 days post-breeding. It's just the prick under the gum, so it can be done at home. No stress for your female, no stress for you. Once you get to know the product, it's super easy to use. It does have a money-back guarantee, and we're always happy to answer any questions you have. Have a great day.